It's Tuesday, September the 3rd, and boy, do I have some news for you. This is Things You Might Have Heard. I am Jay Cleveland Payne. 8 news stories in the queue from yesterday, vetted stories that you deemed conversational. One of them marginally got there, but we'll explain it going forward, and we'll explain the full vetting process, how I picked the stories that you picked for this thing here. It's a big old circular thing, but it works. Just trust me on this one. We'll talk about Joey Chestnut and his miraculous, disgusting performance yesterday. Plus, DirecTV getting in the way of your football plans this weekend. Already getting in the way of football plans from last weekend. And we don't have pictures of Tiger's blood, but Charlie Sheen's in the news because it's his birthday. It's his birthday. It's his birthday. Let's go on to the stories for today. Tuesday, September 3rd, as said. We want to remind you that our website, our home online is this. It's a conversationproject.com for more details on how we do things and why and some of the wheres, if you will. Plus, our email address, theconversationinbox@gmail.com. I answer all emails, no matter how crabby you are. We answer them, and you get crabby. We'll talk about that. If you want to chat with me for free, you can do that anytime you want to. The stories have 8 stories in the queue, no particular order as they're going. We'll give you some context on how they got there in general, but these are 8 stories that you said were good enough to talk about. Start with story number 1, and that is the rematch. The rematch that was 15 years in making. Last time these two competed against each other, and we have to say that, it's been 15 years since Takeru Kobayashi was essentially banned from Nathan's Hot Dogs contest, and now that Joey Chestnut is banned because he's got sponsored by a non-meat hot dog people, Netflix had the chance to kind of test their mettle and test their technology. It's starting in a couple of weeks. Netflix will be your home for WWE Raw live on Monday nights. I said it because I watched that live on Mondays. And so having a live event on their platform is a test. So they did a nice little test with Joey Chestnut and Takeru Kobayashi going against it for some unfinished beef. Very good marketing, if you will, where Joey Chestnut destroyed Kobayashi, 83 hot dogs, beating his record of 76, I think, and knocking down 83 hot dogs in 10 minutes. That's 8.3 hot dogs per minute if you do math. It was disgusting. It was terrible. I tuned into it about an hour into it. I saw it was going to be on at 2 o'clock, and then I saw it was 2:45, and let's see what's going on, and realized they did an hour pregame show. They had like a wing contest and some other stuff. And so I'm glad I missed all that stuff. But it was a spectacle. It was disgusting. It was amazing, actually. They got Nikki Garcia. Carrie Champion, is doing commentary. Rob Riggle's doing his thing. It was a well-produced thing. Rey Mysterio Jr. showed up to give a belt to Joey Chestnut, a WWE Championship mustard belt. It was amazing. It was disgusting. I said those words 3 times because it was both amazing and disgusting. The production was awesome. The production value was great. And watching 2 grown men stuff themselves like that was pretty nasty. But USA, I guess. Joey Chestnut now essentially holding the world record for hot dogs, 83 in 10 minutes. And, of course, undisputed champ for hot dog eating. We'll see what happens if Nathan's can get him back to get some mustard, pun intended, for that one, because apparently no one cares about the Nathan's famous hot dog contest now that there's no Kobayashi or Joey Chestnut. None of these master eaters do things. Kobayashi actually beat his own personal record and was, fine, but he lost by like 17 hot dogs. Let's move to the next story. Let's do another champion in the making. And this lady's making her way. Whoops, I got the wrong picture there. I'm missing a picture. So the next story is actually on Hunter Woodall and Tara Davis-Woodhall. These are married Olympic champions. Of course, Tara Davis-Woodhall won in the hurdles a few weeks back. And now her husband, Hunter, who won in the Paralympics, he's amputee, has no legs below the knees, and won in the Paralympic Games going forward. These two are essentially the new American sweethearts. You thought that Jonathan Owens and Simone Biles was going to be something going forward. These two are the folks you want to cheer for. These two are the folks you want to do well. These two are the folks you want to know more story about. They both had challenges in their careers. I mean, number one, Hunter Woodhall has no legs, so let's start with that. The other one, Tara Davis-Woodhall, also had issues going through in their careers, getting through their stages of life, stages of competition, but they are doing well, both getting Olympic medals and both just, great folks. You saw the picture of Tara hugging her husband and kissing her husband after she won her Olympic medal a few weeks ago. And now you can see, of course, Hunter out there on the field doing what he can, and his woman, her man, them celebrating themselves going forward. Now, the picture we have actually going, if you're not watching the video, none of that was a gap, but we somehow deleted picture number 2 in the listing. But picture number 3 goes to story number 3 and goes to Angel Reese. Angel Reese is she is making her way into history books and becoming right now it's 1 and 2 between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark for Rookie of the Year, and it's getting closer. It's really a fight back and forth and see who actually has the wins. Caitlin may have a slight edge because the Fever are winning, but Reese is pulling down more stats and getting more records. She actually becomes the single season rebounding leader of everybody in the Sky, 79, 74 loss a few days back. Now, it took us a while to get this into the queue. We'll explain that when we get to the teaser part and how things work out and get the stories in here. But she is now the reigning single-season rebounding leader, period, because she's that good. But, unfortunately, the Chicago Sky, her team, is not winning as much as the Indiana Fever, Clark's team. So that's one thing that's seen there. She's seen as a great Rookie of the Year because she's bringing lots of eyeballs and doing great things. And she also hurt her team up with the Caitlin Clark at the All-Star game was amazing because the two have been battling each other for about 3-4 years and now battling each other in the pros. But they were able to make some noise and make some magic happen in the WNBA's All-Star game a few weeks back. However, the Sky is not going to go anywhere this season. They're basically not good enough. The Fever may, and we'll see what happens going forward. Right now, doubles and rebounds is what Reese is pulling down, and she's making it happen and bringing a lot more eyeballs along with Clark to the WNBA, the women's game. Story number 4 is another woman dealing with sports as she probably should not be. If you're watching the video, you see this picture that's on bus stations all over Philadelphia. It has Kamala, the official candidate of the Philadelphia Eagles. She's draped up in a Eagles jersey, Eagles helmet, got the football in her hand, and it's fake. Totally fake. Totally fake. Not even real. She is not the official candidate for the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles do not endorse presidential candidates. Not that they don't like Kamala. They just don't do that. And President Harris, Vice President Harris, maybe President soon-be Harris, is like, yeah, this ain't real. We didn't get endorsement, so back off, Philadelphia. This is some Banksy level stuff, if you will, where someone went through and made these posters and put them in bus stations across the city, and now people are kind of like, wow, that's interesting. The Eagles are pushing for Kamala, and they're not. Both parties are saying this is not official. There's no endorsements there. It's all fake. Taking steps to address the situations, i.e., take down the bus posters and just try to speak truth going forward. The problem is this horse is well at the gate, and people have seen it. So if you've seen it and understand it, it's like, wow, this is a pretty good trick. These guys got it going on. Got to watch out for the fake news and all the fakeness. If you have seen it and didn't quite get the explanation, you might be scratching your heads and wonder, why are they taking this thing back? Because it's not real. As we are 60-ish days from the election, it's time to really focus on what's real, what's not real, what's true, and what's not true. It's really important to know your sources and understand the background, what's going on. This is a prime example. This happened. People see it. It's like, wow, great advertisement. It's up there. And it's not. I want you to take a little time to maybe show us some love. This is a part where we remind you that we do this thing and do a lot of work into this. So we would like you to like the programming you're watching, like more of our programming so more people can see those little thumbs up or those little heart emojis. They can see what's going on and see if they should, see what's going on. It's social proof. All this stuff is social proof. I'm not a very big root YouTuber. I am a real journalist. I've been working in journalism and broadcasting for quite some time, but here on YouTube, I'm fighting against the Tucker Carlsons and the Megans and those folks like that. So I've got to get some eyeballs. Your likes help. You sharing us with other people helps as well, because if you tell somebody this guy's good, they might think that guy's good and watch a couple more things. Also subscribe to us in whatever mediums that work for you. If you're watching us on YouTube and you also have us on Facebook, do that as well. If somebody sent you a clip to us on TikTok and said, hey, this guy's pretty cool, Subscribe on TikTok and then find us in a long form program. If you don't like my face, just get my voice in the podcast, wherever your pods are cast. If you don't like my face or my voice, sign up for the newsletter and get the email links to all these stories every single day, basically right as this thing's being published. Like, share, and subscribe. Help us gain our following, help us grow more, and we will do more and ask you for less, oddly enough. If we get more people in the queue, we can work more things, more magic. We don't need to beg for money as much. There's your incentive. Let's get back to the news stories. And back is not where we are for TV, as Disney and DirecTV are currently in a carriage dispute. That means ain't no TV coming on, sports-wise, from ABC, ESPN, and the whatnots on your DirecTV. So if you were expecting to see that big game between USC and LSU on Sunday, you found out you couldn't watch it. If you're expecting to see some big football this weekend, Monday Night Football and the opening games this weekend, I believe ABC has a Thursday game for this opening weekend. You're not going to see it at the moment because there ain't no play for Disney stuff, ABC stuff, and ESPN stuff on DirecTV. We'll see if they fix this by Thursday. They'll fix it pretty soon. DirecTV cannot, literally, they barely survive what's going on right now. They cannot last without sports for this big season. So we'll see what's going on. I'm not sure even who has the Super Bowl. I think I know Fox is hyping up the fact that they've got in Tom Brady in the booth, but I don't think they have the Super Bowl this year. We'll see who has that one because that's a big deal on DirecTV that they don't have at the moment because of every year carrier disputes with some channel, some broadcaster, some distributor. It always happens, and DirecTV has it things. They are struggling to stay alive. They're now promoting the fact that they have the service without your satellite dish. So basically, you like everyone else, you buy your cable, they're not on your new streaming service. But if they don't have the stuff people want, people won't buy them. We're back to Oasis. We're Tuesday, so it took us a while to get here, but we're back to Oasis as the big weekend happened and the big ticket sale went on basically Friday, Thursday and the Friday, and we found out Ticketmaster sucks, or Ticketmaster-like places suck. Any place that sells tickets suck because, as we suspected, the bots took over. The machines aren't going to kill us by becoming sentient and shooting us down. They're just going to keep us from getting our tickets to events and making us frustrated all the time. Because of glitches with the ticketing system and just all sorts of craziness that we suspect were bots, people cannot get tickets to the Oasis concerts happening in July or so. So Oasis is going to honor the tickets, but they have a little caveat that tickets sold on the secondhand market must be sold at market value, the price on the ticket. You can't upcharges, double, triple, quadruple the prices for tickets because they got sold by brokers. They have to be sold at market value. We're going to see how this one works out and if it actually does work out. Like I keep saying, it's only been a week since this news came out and only been a weekend since they sold tickets, and it's still plenty of months for them to crash and burn and just break up again. My money's on Oasis, not fulfilling their fulfillment and this thing being a bust. But it's a long shot. If it wins, I got this one. If not, people get their Oasis love. I also think Oasis is kind of overrated, so that's why I have that sort of hate for them breaking up. Right now, if you didn't get tickets because Ticketmaster sucks, you can buy tickets on the secondhand market or buy them, point to point. But if you're being gouged, fine. If the price is up by many percentage points, talk to whatever English, British attorney general folks you got because it's wrong. It's bad. It's legal. Let's go back to that mystery sound, the pulsing sound that was coming on the Boeing Starliner that the astronauts like, this thing doesn't sound so great. Apparently there are some issues with some speakers and audio as the ship went up and as the ship's just sort of sitting there. This is not the issue that's keeping them from putting people in it and sending it back to Earth. There are other issues as well. So they fixed this one, essentially a feedback issue, something where wires are crossed and a speaker was set, so you're hearing some weird noises, pulsating sounds from one of the systems. But that isn't the thing that's going to blow the thing up. So they're still not getting in this thing and still planning for a trip sometime in February on one of the competitors' rockets, SpaceX. We're going to see how this thing's going to work because all eyes are definitely keeping up on this issue here. We want our people back. Want all the people back, and having them sit in space like this, kind of ridiculous. Plus, as we said in stories past, they don't have changes of underwear. They had to pack light. Let's move on to the 8th story for this morning. And this story, I'm going to be honest, it barely got there. This was a low-level story in the engagement rule. We'll talk more about engagement in a moment, as this was a story we teased for yesterday to possibly talk about. But just in kind of the fighting of for which stories was most interesting, this one really is. And since we didn't get a lot of political stuff in the last couple of days, it was a slow news day. There was some campaigning going on. This is the closest thing we'll get to a political story in today's show. Trump film The Apprentice finds distributor and will open before election. A new documentary titled The Apprentice, which is not so much a documentary, focuses on Donald Trump's rise to fame in his reality TV show Name, and found a distributor. But that's sort of it. It's not. This is not the documentary. This is actually The Apprentice, showing that Donald Trump as an apprentice to Roy Cohen, who is the lawyer of kind of Beelzebub, essentially. Essentially, he's kind of that bad. And while he starts off showing Donald Trump being bullied by his father, being a really moldable actor for someone like Roy Cohen, and just basically turn him into Donald Trump, this is sort of a docuseries, sort of a origin story that says how he got to where he was before he got to being a politician. And so this is not about you're fired and being in a set that's made by Mark Burnett to make him look better. This is sort of a warts and all look at how he kind of got here. And how he kind of got here is being played by the Winter Soldier, Sebastian Stan, who says it was an interesting role to play and was kind of into doing it. The big thing about this is, if you think election interfering is writing a letter saying we might look into this thing with Hillary Clinton, having a movie come out a few months before you actually run for election that kind of shows just how you got to be such a scummy guy, that's election interference. This one is what really is this. Trump should actually sue these people, because these people should be sued. However, free speech. All's fair in love and war, politics, and money. And that's the perfect time to distribute and get people to watch this movie right before the election. Essentially, if Trump is tanking, it'll all make more sense. If he's not tanking, then maybe this will be a little bit of a ruse to turn things down. But hey, we're going to see how this thing plays out, because The Apprentice, starring Sebastian Stan as DJT, coming soon to theater, an actual theater, not streaming, a theater near you. We said that story about The Apprentice, which the robot editor did a very bad edit in that one, was a teaser story from yesterday. Yesterday, in this section, we said this is a story we could talk about. If you want to talk about it, here's how it happens. Today's story probably won't make it as well. This one I won't be able to save from the heap of other stories, because I don't think it's going to get all the attention. But we got a nerd out on this one, because this one is, I saw this and was like, whoa. Matching dinosaur footprints discovered oceans apart. There's one continent over here. There's one continent over here. There's two footprints. They look at them. Hey, they're from the same shoes. They're from the same feet, from the same dinosaur. Oceans apart. That's probably all the love you're getting on this one, but try to find it anyway. Look for this story in our feeds. Our feeds are our feeds. There are links we have inside of Facebook and X. X.com/th_conversation. Sorry about that. And Facebook.com/thisisconversationproject. What we do on our feed sources, our pages on X and Facebook, is we post news stories every 50 minutes or so for you to engage in. And that's what we're looking for you to do. Engage. Like Picard says, engage. And then you let us know what stories to talk about. The higher score in engagement, the more you actually touch, feel, interact with the story, better chance we have of talking about the stories. We had a lot of fun with some stories today, including the story we had this morning talking about Joey Chestnut, because that was a kind of a, right after it happened, we put it in there and you guys attacked that one pretty quickly. We had a lot of people who really wanted to talk about that noise in the NASA spacecraft because it was weird. And of course, Kamala Harris not being endorsed by the Philadelphia Eagles was a big deal as well, because she's not being endorsed by Philadelphia Eagles. But what we do have is a chance for you to tell us what stories to talk about. We give you all day, all night, every 50 minutes, a new news headline is being posted from various sources, and you just need to engage in it. Click the emoji face you like to, share it with other folks, comment to your heart's desire on how much you enjoy that topic or really, really don't like the topic, because it's not about love or hate. It's about engagement. Sometimes the stories that you really, really, really hate are the stories you really, really, really have to talk about. And it's that simple. So go to our feeds on Facebook and X, and you can do the work, have to work, to get us the stories. You tell us what stories are there. We'll take the top half of stories from today, and we'll pull 8 of them into the storyline headline here. Hopefully we'll actually get the pictures right, so we'll have 8 pictures with 8 stories going forward with that one. It's that simple. We make it happen. We make it happen. You and I make it happen. What I make happen is the choice for our sponsor. And hopefully I choose the right sponsor, because these are people that are going to take care of you to take care of us. I take care of you to take care of me. So hopefully you'll take care of me as we are promoting this week a new book that is targeted towards salespeople, but it really is a book on life. And hear me out for a moment. Everything is sales. Everything is marketing. Everything is promotion. My young one, my 12-year-old, is essentially a master salesperson, master marketer, because every time she comes to me, she's asking for something. And she has to convince me to spend money on it, because not even the money we give her, she doesn't spend the money on anything because she's 12. So every time she comes to me, she is asking for something, because that's what they do. And oftentimes I say no. And for a while, there was a part where she said, well, you're just going to say no, and she's kind of coming whatever. But now she's got kind of crafty. She's thinking about it. She listens to what I say and finds a way to counter it with something else. Normally it's BS. Normally it's something that I know is not going to happen. It's usually if you get me this thing, I'll do extra chores. And she doesn't do random chores right now. She doesn't do basic chores right now. So it's really bad. But her skills in negotiation have always been kind of on point. She's been negotiating since she could talk, and that's what's going on. If you are a salesperson, you are negotiating. And if you need help with negotiating, you need something to help you counter some of those specific rejections. 21 specific response questions to counter some common sales objections. If you're not a salesperson, if you're just a regular lay person trying to get some work done, but you're coming into some static in where you're working, getting things done, maybe you want to try a sales tactic. Maybe you want to try a marketing tactic. Maybe you want to go pick this book up and learn something new. Maybe you're just interested in learning something new, and maybe you're trying to side hustle and want to go into sales. 21 specific response questions to some very common sales objections that you get. Check it out on Amazon. It'll be in other distributors fairly soon. We just released it literally last week. So in a few weeks, it'll be in all the electronic bookstores. And then, of course, you can always just get it straight from Amazon. Click the link inside of this presentation or search for Conquer Sales Objections Pain and get it in either Kindle form, which is $5, and the paperback, $10. One of the best $10 you'll probably spend this week if you get this book. And this thing is, it's a pretty good book. I say that because I wrote it. I say that because I worked on it. I say that because I went through it. But I also got a chance to get some eyeballs on it for a guy who I respect. It's dedicated to my friend Richard Nichols, who had a birthday this week. So celebrating that thing. Love that. Who was a sales manager at a former radio station group I worked at. And it's amazing how watching the sales guys work, how they do marketing, how they do managing, how they do customer service has helped me. And I've not worked with him for over a decade. It's helped me over this time going forward. So thank you, Rich, for being the good guy you are. Thank you for, I'll say, endorsing, saying it was a pretty good book. I didn't ask for an endorsement, so there's no forward something from here. But thank you for giving me a thumbs up and mark a seal of approval that it's not bad news, and you should check it out yourself. Now, I will endorse myself because I should do that. The Conversation Project lives online at this is theconversationproject.com. Stop by our website and find out how we can help you learn more about stuff, because it is about learning more about stuff. Essentially, Conversation Project is meant to bring people in to talk about news and talk about interesting stories that are interesting and newsworthy, and not just overtaken because it's the most important thing in the world. If you watch, I'm turning to what's my left, because on my left is where I have the monitor, which usually has the news on. It's off while I'm recording. I have news on all the time. It's always there, just kind of in case something pops up. It's always background viewing and background noise in cases. And as I watch it in the morning, preparing for this stuff, we talked all morning about Kamala Harris because she's important. It was Kamala Harris. It was the strikes over in Israel, and it's the strikes by the hotel workers right now. Those are three big stories, and those are important stories. But they're not the only things happening right now. So if you want to get a chance to really talk about things that are really engaging, really into going on, and we do get the big stuff, but not always the big stuff, it doesn't overtake things, engage with the Conversation Project and help us out. Go to our website. Follow us on any place that works for you. Facebook, YouTube, X, TikTok. Follow us in your audio feeds for your podcast. Follow us on email via our email newsletter, the best way to follow us. Follow us wherever you can. Follow us on YouTube because we finally got a chance to make a little extra cash on YouTube. So that means less asking you for money. And follow us where you can ask us for money, being a partner. And that is something you can check out at our website. This is theconversationproject.com. Partnership has its perks. You can find them out by going there and seeing what the perks are. We have done the business stuff. I've asked you for money because that's what business is about. I gave you the product. That was the news stories. Now it's time to have some fun. Things you might not to know for Tuesday, September the 3rd, 2024 is on us right now. We're going with Ferris Bueller, Charlie Sheen, because there is no better Charlie Sheen, but it's Charlie Sheen. Charlie Sheen with a birthday twin today. He is 59 years old on the day. Hard to believe he's only 59 because he looks like a guy who could be much older, but he is only 59 years old on the day. Birthday twin with Costas Mandylor, who's 59 years old as well, and also love for Garrett Hedlund, who is 40 years old today. Happy birthday to that trio of dudes, good-looking dudes, on this 3rd of September. Let's get into some history today. On this 3rd of September, going back, starting off in 1939, World War II began when France, the United Kingdom, New Zealand, how about that, and Australia declared war on Germany after the invasion of Poland, starting the Allies. New Zealand and Australia, part of the Allies. Remember, Japan, who was an island nation who's much closer to New Zealand and Australia right there, was a threat as well. So they joined in the pact to go was going back to fight the Axis powers, basically the Germans, the Italians, and the Japanese. In 1944, the diarist Anne Frank and her family were placed on the last transport train from Westbork to Auschwitz, arriving 3 days later. This, of course, would be essentially the end of the life for Anne Frank and her family. Made famous her life, her story detailed in the diary of Anne Frank. As far as I can tell, that one has not been banned yet, as far as I can tell. Let's go on to 1995, a very big jump, and this one not nowhere near the historic level of the other two, but hey, eBay was founded. eBay at the time was one of the darlings of commerce, where the sort of backstory that isn't the backstory. Somebody wanted to sell BD babies for his wife and made eBay. It's not quite exactly how it happened, but eBay as a marketplace for people to get with other people around the nation and sell stuff to them and get stuff from stuff, started on this day, founded on this day in 1995. Learning something else today, a big word. Today's word of the day is cacophony. Cacophony. And is a harsh discordance of sound, dissonance, used in a sentence. The extravagant lifestyle, complete with luxury cars and frequent lavish parties, quickly depleted his inheritance. That's not right. Okay, well, the cacophony means a bunch of really bad sounds. That's the wrong sentence. Hopefully I'll change that by the time the newsletter goes out. You can figure out what's going on in that one. That's a weird one. It happens sometimes. We're just going to go with it. We got out of order. We'll fix it later. In the meantime, your big word today is cacophony. Your word of the day is cacophony. Go to the Big Words Project and find more big words and look for our book, Big Words You Ought to Know. And those words in that book definitely have the right definition attached to them. That one is right. We also have the right affirmation today, because the affirmation gift for the day is always right for the day. It just sort of fits the day. And today's affirmation is today. I choose joy and gratitude over worry. And this one fosters positive emotions. By choosing joy and gratitude, you consistently shift your focus towards positive emotions, which can enhance your mood and overall sense of well-being. The shift helps counteract feelings of worry and anxiety, making space for happiness and contentment in your daily life. I'm going to choose joy and gratitude over worrying about the fact I messed up the last slide. See how that works out? Today's affirmation, today I choose joy and gratitude over worry. Wrapping things up, this is an awesome day to celebrate, although because we did do a bit of cooking out yesterday for Labor Day, we've got way too many leftovers, so I don't know if this is going to happen. Maybe I'll add this to the stack. Baby Back Ribs Day, a National Baby Back Ribs Day, celebrated on this September 3rd, a day dedicated to savoring one of America's favorite comfort foods, which ironically was considered junk about 60 years ago until marketing. Baby back ribs, known for their tender, juicy meat and flavoring seasoning, have become a staple of backyard barbecues and a symbol of culinary indulgence. Whether slow cooked over a smoky grill, slathered in tangy barbecue sauce, or rubbed with a secret blend of sauces, these ribs are a testament to the art of cooking with love and patience. Not sure that's going to happen today. Like I said, we've got a lot of leftovers to get to, but I may sneak in a rib somewhere sometime. In the meantime, it's also bowling league day. Not quite as tasty, but if you have a bowling league, or if you're in bowling leagues, or you want to get in a bowling league, today is the day to ask about it, because Labor Day, the official, unofficial end of summer, time to get back in the groove of things, get back into your normal activities. Be a guy, be a gal, be one of the folks, and just join a bowling league. It's an amazing thing to do. In the meantime, just be a guy, be a gal, and just be amazing. Just be amazing to be amazing. I'm Jake Cleveland Payne saying thank you so much for being a part of the show today. Remind you that we are all over the places. So go to our website. This is theconversationproject.com and see all the places we are in. Join us in some of those places. I want to let you know that you should stop by our feeds because you tell us the stories to talk about. You gave me the go-ahead to put the 8 stories I put into this morning show into the show. And you go to our feeds, you see the stories you post all day long, and you just engage in them. Let me know which ones are better ones to put into the show. Also, email me anytime you feel it at theconversationinbox@gmail.com because that's how we communicate. You also communicate with us directly, more directly, if you will, by being a partner. Check out the partnerships page at our website. No partnership necessary to engage, but partners, of course, who actually are help funding the effort here. They also get some extra details behind the scenes and some extra things are kind of early. So get some good stuff right now. One good thing partners are getting, new partners getting right here. If I can not knock things over. A bottle of this hot sauce. Trust me, you're going to want a little bit of that. So that you become a partner, get some hot sauce. There's your incentive. It's like NPR. It's just like public radio. Pay me $100 and I'll give you a coffee mug. Sure, no problem. Oh, there's also merch on our YouTube page there because we're monetized, so check that out. Coming soon to you. Meantime, make sure you remember, this is an affirmation you should tell yourself every day. Life is great, even when life doesn't seem so great, because the alternative is not so great. So remember that one. And know that I love you immensely, profusely, a whole bunch. So be here tomorrow so we have more joy and fun together. No worry, joy. No worry, joy. We'll see you tomorrow on a Wednesday edition of Things You Might Not Have